This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
Hello, pet parents. Welcome to Best Bets for Pets. I'm your show host, Michelle Fern. So today we're going to talk about a topic near and dear to all pet parents' hearts, dental care, right? We know it's important, but it's a challenge, and it's really a challenge when it involves cats. And my guest today is going to tell us about a product for cats, and I'm so excited to have him on. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You know the expression, cats have 9 lives. Well, what if you can give them one more? The Give Them 10 movement is on a mission to help give cats an extra life. How? With spay and neuter. Spaying or neutering your cat helps them live a longer, healthier life. And it helps control free-roaming cat populations too. Learn more about the benefits of spay and neuter and meet Scooter, the neutered cat, at GiveThem10.org. That's GiveThem10.org.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to welcome Dr. Greg Reinhart. He is the Chief Scientific Officer at Pet Honesty. Welcome, Dr. Greg.
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having me on your show.
I'm very excited to have you on. Can you share a little bit about your background to our listeners?
Yeah, I have training in animal nutrition and a subspecialty in nutritional biochemistry. I worked on human hospitalized patients, malnourished children, and over 25 years in the pet food industry. I've been with Pet Honesty for almost 4 years now.
Wow. And before we talk all about the great products at Pet Honesty, especially what we're going to talk about today, do you have any fur babes right now yourself?
We lost our 4-footed dog, Cody, and we got a vacuum right now, unfortunately. But I've been a dog lover and dog parent for most of my adult life, and I've also had 3 cats. But right now, unfortunately, we don't have a pet in the home, and it doesn't feel right.
Well, taking a break, and I'm sorry for your loss. It never goes away, and sometimes you just need to kind of take a break.
I do have many grandpups and grandcats, so
they all count. At one time, I had 5 cats and 2 dogs. Now we're down to 3 cats. So it changes. The fur baby household changes. So let's talk about dental care for cats. I thought it was hard to brush a dog's teeth. Brushing a cat's teeth, to me, is almost impossible. So I think it's best if you start when they're kittens, but it is really hard to do. And cats have much sharper teeth than dogs, and there's a lot of bacteria in their mouth. So I'm always petrified that I might get bit or clawed, and I've heard some scary stories. So what can we do to take care of our cat's teeth?
Well, the first thing is to recognize that problems with oral health is a big issue, often a very big unaddressed issue in cats. Over 75% or almost 70 or 75% of cats over the age of 2 have poor oral health. And as you mentioned, trying to brush the cat's mouth as an adult, it takes difficult. The definition of difficult to a whole new meaning. It's just not easy to do. The cats don't like it. It's very stressful. And compliance long-term from the pet parent perspective is very poor. And if you don't address the poor oral health, it creates a harbor for bacteria to reside. They grow, they produce toxins that causes, inflammation and the gum to recess. And over time, tooth loss is often in the picture. The other thing that's very scary, and this is true for cats, dogs, and us humans, is if there's a lot of bacteria in the mouth, and especially around the gum line, those bacteria can travel into the bloodstream. That's called bacterial translocation. And it can cause a lot of inflammation inside the body. It can lead to heart disease, kidney disease, things like that. So you want to have a clean mouth so you can have a clean body. And the best way to really address that is establishing practices and routines that keep the mouth healthy from an early stage. And brushing in cats is probably not the preferred route.
No, brushing is hard. And it's interesting when you brought up, I have heard that before, but a lot of people have not, that oral care is so important because of tartar buildup. And while the dentist's office is not my favorite place, I go. When something comes up, I go. I don't just, close my eyes and pretend. And I try to do the same for my fur babes. It was much easier brushing my dog's teeth. I mean, he would lick the toothbrush as I was trying to get in there, but it was possible. With cats, forget it. I've seen some people brushing their cat's teeth on social media, but usually kittens or maybe very skilled people. So besides some of the consequences you just talked about, what else can happen if we don't brush our cat's teeth?
Well, there's multiple stages that occur in having problems happen in the mouth. And the first is plaque formation. And plaque is when you have bacteria that set up shop in the mouth and they produce this film. It's a biofilm called plaque, and it coats the teeth, it coats inside the mouth. In humans, we brush that plaque off once or twice a day, and that keeps that biofilm from being there. And over time, calcium in the saliva attaches to that plaque and it forms tartar. It's like a low-grade mortar. And as tartar builds up, it provides more spaces for bacteria to hide, more plaque form, more tartar form, and it just becomes this vicious cycle. And over time, you have a lot of problems. So what you can do are things from a supplement standpoint to help disrupt the plaque formation. If there's biofilm there, there's things that can break it down. You can modulate the bacteria in the mouth so there's less plaque formers in the mouth. And you can also provide things that bind calcium. So if there is a little bit of plaque, if you bind up the calcium, it doesn't attach and form tartar. So there's methods that don't involve brushing that can reduce the formation of plaque and tartar. And that's really, I think, the goal that's the best approach for cat oral health.
Okay, and we're going to talk about your amazing products soon, but I have one more question. What about for those pet parents listening that say, well, I take my dog to, the vet to get a deep cleaning once a year, which is a deep cleaning, which is a lot different than the twilight cleaning, that there's like a semi-cleaning that they have. I've heard this is for dogs. I'm not sure for cats. Then there's a deep cleaning where they have to put your dog under. And that's what in my personal opinion, that's what you really need. And for cats, I'm not sure. What do they do for cats? I mean, you can do a deep clean for cats. I think for cats, they must put the cats under. They can't do any twilight cleaning.
It'd have to be under general anesthesia, and that involves a pre-anesthetic assessment of the blood, the CBC, and a profile to make sure that the cat is in healthy enough shape to go under anesthesia. And then they go in and do a complete dental. And that includes scaling the teeth, removing that tartar that has formed at the gum line and taking that off. It's very expensive. And for older cats, it's risky. For any older dog or cat, it's risky. And it's a lot. It's a lot, both time, cost, and risk. It does get the job done. That's a treatment approach. The other approach is more, trying to prevent these things from happening in the first place.
Okay. And if you are diligent in preventing, can you avoid the deep cleaning?
You can certainly reduce the frequency and severity of the problem, and that's the approach we would recommend.
Okay, and we're not going to get too much into dental care as far as the different treatments, but I have done deep cleaning with my dog. I have not done it with my cats.
It's not as common. And yeah.
And what about the twilight? You've heard of that, right? They don't put the dogs under, but they just do a really good cleaning. I just think I don't know. Some people swear by it. I've never done it. I did the full on, as long as my dog's blood work was okay, I did it. But there are risks.
Yeah, the compromise is that it doesn't require anesthesia, so that's a plus. But the negative is it's not as thorough. It doesn't get down right at the gum line or sometimes even below the gum line to remove the tartar and plaque. And that if that remains after a twilight cleaning, that just is a place where all the bad stuff can begin again. So it has a jump start to start that whole negative process. So I would prefer that if a dog or a cat is going to have a dental clean, that it gets a very thorough one, which includes the scaling and the polishing.
Yeah, I agree. All right, we're going to take a short break and we're going to come right back.
Take a bite out of your competition. Advertise your business with an ad in Pet Life Radio podcasts and radio shows. There is no other pet-related media that is as large and reaches more pet parents and pet lovers than Pet Life Radio. With over 7 million monthly listeners, Pet Life Radio podcasts are available on all major podcast platforms, and our live radio stream goes out to over 250 million subscribers on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, TuneIn, and other streaming apps. For more information on how you can advertise on the #1 pet podcast and radio network, visit PetLifeRadio.com/advertise today.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking to Dr. Greg Reinhart. He is the Chief Scientific Officer at Pet Honesty. So, one of the new products that Pet Honesty has are dental bites for cats, which I think is fabulous. How did the idea for this product come about?
Well, Michelle, we have a lineup of dual texture cat supplements. It's crunchy on the outside and creamy on the inside. It's a format that's very common in treats, and we've been able to put active ingredients in there, and cats love them. Cats, as you know, cats are very finicky, and any supplement that has a 70% approval rating or higher in a cat is considered good. We're over 90% on our 9 products that we have in this dual texture format. And the one we just most recently introduced is the Fresh Breath Dental Bite. It has actives in there, and it's really the cats view it as a treat, but it's a treat with benefits. And this format is highly acceptable, and we think compliance is going to be very good because of that.
Well, I think it is the best thing ever. My cat crew, so Dennis, Charlotte, and Molly. Charlotte's the pickiest and the most misunderstood, strangest. They're all rescues. Dennis will pretend to eat anything, and then he decides. So he's a little picky too. Molly's in between. So I had to put the dental bite sample in a drawer because Dennis was finding his way to them, and he has clawed open things before. So yes, very palatable among my cat crew, which I think they're a good blend, between the three of judging, because I was a little bit finicky and a little bit, okay, and all of that, but they loved it. Are the dental bites enough for dental treatment for your cats?
They will go a long ways to prevent the problems from occurring, or certainly slow down the rate at which they occur. This product has not just 1 or 2, it's got 4 different approaches to combat plaque formation and tartar formation. We have in there kelp, and kelp is known to reduce tartar in cats, and that's very helpful. It's got hexametaphosphate. That's a calcium binder. So if there is some plaque that's formed, that calcium gets bound up by the hexametaphosphate, and it keeps it from attaching to the biofilm or the plaque. That's also used in human toothpaste, by the way, in many tartar control human toothpaste. It's got a very potent next generation ingredient called a postbiotic. And this particular postbiotic decreases plaque formation, which is very exciting. And lastly, it's got what's called the Fresh Breath Blend. It's a combination of decaffeinated green tea and parsley. And the thing about green tea is it's got a compound in it called catechins, and that decreases microbes in the mouth, and it also decreases inflammation. I don't know if you've ever drank unsweetened green tea. Your teeth and mouth kind of feels squeaky afterwards. That's the catechins that do that. And then the other component is the parsley, which has chlorophyll, which is known to help with halitosis or bad breath. So it's a very powerful 4-pronged approach to help cats keep a healthy mouth.
What made Pet Honesty decide to create this for cats? Because I know you have a product for dogs that you've had on the market. Cats are a lot more difficult. Did you see a space in the market for it? Did Pet Honesty say, this is a challenge, we're going to take it? What was the thinking behind it? Because it's not easy to create products for cats. We have all kinds of products on Best Bets for Pets. And a lot of times, there's products for the dog, but what about cats? That's coming. It's going to be way after. So your product came after, but were people writing in and saying, okay, you have my dog, he has his dental powder, he's fine. I need something for my cat. What was the thought behind it?
There was actually two things that kind of came into play. One is the high incidence of poor oral health in cats, and we knew that was an unmet need that had to be addressed, and it really wasn't being addressed effectively. And the other is that we first came out with a cat-specific dental powder, and we feel that's best in class. It's got many of the same actives, and it gives you a lot of versatility. You can mix it with food. You can, do other things with it. And as we were working with this, we thought, we have such a great format in that pillow technology, the crunchy outside, creamy inside. Let's see if we can get these same active ingredients in that treat format. And we did. And one of the things with these supplements is you never know, these actives have adverse impact on palatability. And we're happy to share that this was our most palatable supplement. 98% of cats approved of it, which is unheard of.
Right. That's crazy good.
In fact, this was so remarkable that we won the 2025 Pet Innovation Award for Cat Dental Product of the Year with this Fresh Breath Dental Bite. So we're really excited about what it's going to sort of help in ease of use that it's going to provide to cat parents out there.
Well, congratulations on the award. Can you tell us a little bit about it? A little more detail?
The only thing I know about it is it's called the 2025 Pet Innovation Award, and a panel looked at all the new innovations that came out in the cat dental space and decided that this was the best one of the year. So we're thrilled to have the hard work and expertise that went into it be recognized by an external panel.
Well, congratulations. And
thank you.
I'm also glad to see that there is a focus on cat dental care, because dental care is so important and so overlooked in felines because of, as we talked about earlier, the challenges of brushing and, putting them under, and they're little creatures and they're stoic creatures. So there's just so much involved. So to have a product where it's as easy as here's a treat it's a no-brainer. Let's talk about how to introduce dental bites to your cat.
The dosage of this is very, very straightforward. It's one small chew per pound of body weight. So if you have a 10-pound cat, you give them 10 of these little chews. For cats under 2 pounds and kittens under 6 months, we cut that dose in half, and so it'd be one chew per 2 pounds of body weight. And we recommend that kittens under 4 months of age, check with your veterinarian before you would approach this. But the acceptance is so good that there's really not a lot of work that needs to be done on the pet parent's part. Is just give them the number of supplements that corresponds with their body weight, and they usually treat them like it's a treat, and they'll readily consume them. And so it's an easy transition.
Actually, right before we recorded, I gave some more to my cats. And I'm going to confess, I'm the kind of person that does it, then reads instructions. So back in the day, you can imagine how much furniture I put together backward. So that's what I did. But I only gave them one. And then I read the dosage, which is not what you should do, listeners. You should read the dosage before. But I only gave them one. They ate it so quickly. It even beat regular treats. They just chomped. And I thought, I wonder if I can give you more. And I read, the dosage, and I thought, yes, you can have more. So I gave them some more. Now, it was a little before their dinner time, but still, they are cats, and they will not eat anything that you put in front of them. They're not too finicky, but they're on the border. So they love them, and I'm glad they can have more than one. What about you said for kittens, what about for older cats? And if you have a cat that for some reason cannot consume in a treat format, can you also mention there's a powder?
There is a powder. And if for whatever reason a cat doesn't like the treat format, powder would be an option. For older cats, it's fine. In fact, probably even more indicated because an older a cat gets, it seems like the incidence of poor oral health also increases. The only watch out is if the cat would happen to have renal failure. And in those cases with renal failure, the veterinarian will normally recommend a phosphorus restricted diet. And the pet parent would want to check with their veterinarian to make sure that the phosphorus that comes in with the treats is compliant with that restriction.
Okay, so as we always say here, if you have any concerns, check with your vet first. But in most cases, the dental bites for cats from Pet Honesty are fine.
Yes.
Okay. What other products does Pet Honesty have? We have a couple minutes if you can share some of the other products that are maybe new or very innovative or some of your favorites.
Well, we have 9 dual texture pillow cat supplements. We got a multivitamin, hairball support, calming, skin and coat, joint support, probiotics, urinary tract health, and immune support. So they're all this really highly palatable format. And we're the largest portfolio brand on Amazon, the cat supplement portfolio brand. So they're doing very, very well. Just cat parents love them. Their cats love them. And there's great feedback on how the cats respond from an efficacy standpoint. So it's really it's been a very, very win-win proposition for us, and that's why we continue to introduce supplements in this format when it makes sense.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. So I have a question. At the office, do you have cat taste testers?
We do, not necessarily in the office, but we have a number of colleagues who have cats, and they always try them. And we've got a couple of people who are, have a lot of cats, and they're very particular, just like your 3, each very unique in what they like and don't like. And they screen for us. And we also feed these new products at a cattery with trained cats and get data on that as well. So we make sure that we have plenty of experiences before we go out into the marketplace.
Oh, that's good to know. And a quick question regarding supplements. Is there a limit into how many supplements you should give your cat? For humans, I know what vitamins I take. I don't take everything, but I take multi and a couple others, and that works for me. So is this something you should discuss with your doctor as far as supplements go? I mean, not necessarily dental bites, that's dental care, but maybe for autoimmune, for joint support.
Yeah, that's common because oftentimes cats will have more than one issue that needs to be addressed. And so like a multivitamin, let's say a joint support or things like that, we call that stacking. And in general, we say you can stack three supplements and it's okay. The one caveat is that we don't recommend stacking more than two supplements that have probiotics. And the reason is that probiotics are a live bacteria. And if you overload the cat's gastrointestinal system with a lot of live bacteria, those bacteria will have a party, and there's going to be some intestinal turbulence. And they're fine from a health perspective. It's just there's going to be some gas and maybe some loose stool. So you want to try and minimize that.
Right, which is not fun for the cat, certainly not fun for the pet parent. So,
exactly.
I mean, it's like a stomach ache, bad stomach ache in simplified version. But that's good to know. So you can only stack 2 supplements if they contain probiotics. Otherwise, you can stack up to 3.
Correct.
Great information.
With all of our Pet Honesty ingestibles, things that a companion animal will consume, we adhere to what we call the honest difference. It's our stake in the ground. And we don't formulate with corn, soy, or wheat. We don't formulate with cellulose or palm oil. And that's very intentional. We also don't use artificial preservatives or artificial coloring. So it's a cleaner supplement than most. And that's a very intentional formulation strategy that we've undertaken.
Your intentional formatting for Pet Honesty products is for all across the board?
All ingestibles. We do have a grooming line.
Okay.
And that doesn't apply to the grooming because that's a topical.
Yeah, of course not. Well, that is really good to know. So tell our listeners so that they can have dental bliss with their cats and fresh breath. Where can our listeners find Dental Bites from Pet Honesty and other Pet Honesty products?
All of our cat products, including the new Fresh Breath Dental Bites, can be found on Amazon, Chewy, and our own direct-to-consumer pethonesty.com website.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Dr. Greg, I want to thank you so much for coming on Best Bets for Pets.
Michelle, thank you. It was my pleasure.
I hope you all enjoyed this show. I want to thank Dr. Greg from Pet Honesty for coming on Best Bets for Pets. Thanks to my cat crew that so enjoyed testing the dental bites. So thank you, Dennis, Charlotte, and Molly. Thank you, of course, to everyone that listens to Best Bets for Pets. I greatly appreciate it. You've got to try these Pet Honesty dental bites. But to be honest, it is one of my biggest fears to even try to brush my cat's teeth. I value my hands too much. So when I had the opportunity to try these dental, Pet Honesty dental bites, I thought, yes, I love that idea. And finding out that the product's clean and, my cats love them was just wonderful. So listeners, this is definitely a product you want to check out. Thanks again, cat crew. And of course, thank you so much to my producer, Mark Winter, for working his magic and making our shows sound amazing. And hey, keep listening. You never know what we'll have next on Best Bets for Pets.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.